Welcome to my review of WWE Super Saudi Showdown 2020. I'm John Ritland, and Vince McMahon just took his hand and slapped every single member of the full-time roster across the face. Good fucking grief, that was worse than I expected, and I had no expectations for this show. The two main championship matches were worse than I expected. They had the expected results, obviously, and I've said the word expected so many times that I'm taking that and throwing it over there. So, how was the show overall? Glorified house show. That's what it fucking was. There was a lot of pyro. I hope that all the members of the roster and the staff, every employee of WWE gets home safely. That is most important. As for the show, my God, it was ass. I mean, they take place basically in a vacuum. A lot of this shit doesn't really mean anything until you got to that main event because it just effectively did nothing for anybody, even though I know what the end result is going to be. So we got Charlie, Otunga, and Scott in the studios hyping up this show through gritted teeth. They really did not look like they wanted to be there. I mean, I don't blame them. And we had the Viking Raiders and Gallows and Anderson in a match on the kickoff. Typical match. IWGP Tag Team Championships gets mentioned. Cool. All right. That's great. Since both these teams had time in New Japan. And it was basic. I don't really know what the point of this was, except maybe to warm up the crowd. And a Magic Killer pins one of the Viking Raiders for 3. And then we get the Tawake Trophy Gauntlet match, where the winner gets to hack a journalist up with the bone saw of their choosing. There we go. Yeah, because I'm getting the offensive jokes out here right now. This was not a good show. And you know what? I don't give a shit how I sound on this review, because honestly, if WWE's not going to care about these shows, why the fuck should I? So here we go. We start off with Truth and Lashley. There was a lot of rest holds. There was a bit of sloppy stuff here. And Truth ends up pinning Lashley with the dreaded roll-up, the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling. And then Lashley beats him up. So you're thinking Truth is going to get pinned by the next guy. It's Andrade returning, who's U.S. champion still. He's back after getting DDT'd on the concrete. That's the reason he was gone. Not a suspension. Not that at all. Keeps the championship. Fucking bullshit, because nobody should keep a championship if they're suspended because of the wellness policy. However you feel about the wellness policy, if you're going to stick to the rules, hold them to everybody. But anyway, so they have a bit of a back and forth, and then Andrade hits that back elbow, but they have a bit of a collision, and Truth falls on Andrade and pins him. Welcome back to WWE, Andrade. To be fair, it kind of makes sense, given the fact that he got suspended while getting a bit of a push, so I sort of get this. And then Rowan comes down. And I don't know what the fuck he had in his cage. A piece of something? I have no goddamn idea. But he starts beating up Truth, and then they do a stare spot where the cage gets knocked down, and he says, "Don't touch my stuff, don't touch my stuff." And then he hits Truth with the steps and causes a DQ. And then we get another beatdown. And then here's AJ Styles, and he mocks Truth, and then he gets a calf crusher on him and beats him. And then Rey Mysterio is supposed to appear, but suddenly Gallows and Anderson are beating him up. Oh no, AJ Styles wants to get the victory. He's like, "Oh, I got my guys here. I won." Well, hey, ring the bell, ring the bell. The ref's like, well, if AJ Styles' opponent cannot get to the ring by the count of 10, AJ Styles will be declared the winner. And then suddenly, Gallows and Anderson are beat up by a man in a long black trench coat, which clearly means that Sting is there. It's not Sting, it was The Undertaker. Riyadh popping for The Undertaker's dong. And there we go. That's essentially what happened. Undertaker couldn't even be bothered to take off his hat for this. To be fair, I don't blame him. He's, 55 with a lot of injuries, a lot of goddamn injuries, and doesn't have a lot of matches left. But he chokeslams him. Undertaker did one move and did not look like he was doing all that well. It's time for him to retire, for the love of fucking God. Undertaker's doing nothing but damaging his legacy. It's his choice what he wants to do, but as a fan, I fucking hate seeing it because he is just horribly damaging his legacy. But does a one chokeslam, gets a 3 count, so Undertaker wins the Aggro Crag Trophy. And if you get that reference, thank you. Twitter was all over that, and it makes total goddamn sense. So, then we get New Day versus Miz and Morrison. Ho ho, hey hey. SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match. It was fine. Kofi did that trust fall spot and just shattered his back. I hope Kofi's okay. Fucking hell. That was bad. And then Skull Crush finale for 2. We get a chair behind the referee's back and a dreaded roll-up again, and Miz and Morrison, ho ho, hey hey, get the tag team championships. Okay, guess that hype with New Day and Usos doesn't mean anything unless New Day win the championships back tomorrow, which they might. SmackDown is tomorrow, by the way, and these guys have to fly back from there. And hopefully they are already on a plane going home, and that they'll be, well, I mean, I know the show just ended, but hopefully by the time this review is posted, they are already in the air and we have no mechanical issues, but I digress. Cool, we get the one, like title change for the night. Oh wait, no we don't. We get another embarrassing title change. Rollins says that, the Street Profits will be eradicated during Black History Month. That isn't what he said, but he might as well have said that because he wants to eradicate people from WWE, especially Monday Night Raw, and the Street Profits are on that list. Whatever. Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo. Flippy shit with some rest holds and some good stuff. These guys always work well together, and Garza ends up pinning Humberto with a roll-up variation. Wasn't a bad match. It was not as good as their match on Raw, but it was what it was. We then get Rollins and Murphy, the Murphy that is Buddy, versus the Street Profits. And I don't know what was in the cup. Hopefully nothing bad because they are in another country. This match was also fine. Montez does hit a great frog splash, and he really had to adjust himself in midair, so he did that really, really well. And Buddy pulls him out at 2. There we go. We get that. We get a big old schmoz. This was messy at some points. Stomp on the apron. A black man getting curb stomped again, so in Black History Month, so, Seth Rollins just holding true to Vince's ideal. And Murphy pins Dawkins for 3. So these tag titles stay on Rollins and Murphy, which I sort of expected. We then get Ziggler with Rude for a second versus Mansoor. Rude gets kicked out pretty quickly. The crowd loved Mansoor. And at one point, Ziggler had the sleeper hold on. He's like, come on, ask him. And there was a bad DDT landing. I hope everybody's okay after that. That looked really vicious. And Mansoor gets the win shortly after that. Cuts a promo, hypes up the crowd. Okay, cool, whatever. Nothing against Mansoor the performer, but I've seen some, I'm just going to leave it there because, I just don't care about this show. Because I got a rant about Brock versus Ricochet for the WWE Championship. Ricochet got a no offense and got buried. I don't use the word buried lightly. I'm not saying that Ricochet won't get victories after this. I'm not saying that Ricochet won't get maybe another championship run at some point. But the fact that he didn't even get 1 or 2 offensive moves in, yes, having Brock look dominant will just make it mean that much more when Drew beats him at Mania. And hopefully Drew does beat him, or fucking hell are they wrecking some shit. But this did nothing for Ricochet. It did nothing for him. Absolutely goddamn nothing. They had all that hype and everything. I expected maybe a 3 to 4 minute match. Him to get a couple moves, maybe get a pinfall, but at least to get a couple moves. I didn't expect maybe 90 seconds, and I think that's about what it was. And 80% of it was Brock stalling after the moves. So, cool, whatever. Just why? Just get the title off of Lesnar. Never give him a championship again. I don't care that he's shown up at more Raws this year, and I don't care that he did what he did at the Rumble. At this point, he needs to not be champion anymore. Now, I didn't expect Ricochet to win, and Ricochet shouldn't have won, because Ricochet wouldn't have been a very convincing WWE champion. But for fuck's sake, it's why even do this match? Yes, obviously the Crown Prince wants to see the championships defended, and that's why they did this. But it just did nothing for Ricochet, and hate to say it, if this doesn't describe him as perfectly being, just stuck in the mid-card for life, I don't know what does. At least in WWE. Because they're so loaded with talent, he can only be in the mid-card. Not good, total bullshit, but expected bullshit. And then Corbin does his royal entrance, and the Crown Prince had his guards on standby just in case anything bad happened. We then get Reigns versus Corbin in a steel cage match. And Roman brings out a chain, more like Roman chains. I'm just going to let that joke sit there and let you guys groan while listening to that. He did a spot where it looked like he might have hurt his quad. Hopefully he was okay. And then later in the match, because there were some rest holds, there was some okay stuff. This might as well have not even been a steel cage, though. Because they didn't use the cage. They used the cage a little, but not all that much. At one point, Corey says, eats the fist of the big dog. Well, we know Corey's kinks, don't we? And then chain action, we get a Superman chain punch. 1, 2, 3. For the love of God, let this motherfucking feud be over, because this feud wasn't any goddamn good. This feud was fucking horrible. Let me emphasize again, fucking horrible. So, Naomi versus Bayley. Rest hold City at times. It did get okay as things went on. These two can work well together. They were, of course, all covered up and everything, because God forbid women are allowed to dress how they want. oh no, they need to be kept pure, or otherwise they'll get stoned and everything over there. There's a bad landing off the ropes by Naomi. She did like a splash, and it's like she maybe slipped on the ropes. And I'm not faulting Naomi or faulting Bayley. It just looked really vicious. Like her knee just slammed right into Bayley's rib. So I hope they're both okay. Since Naomi and Bayley were both wearing shirts, and Naomi had a longer shirt, Bayley was trying for this finisher and tied up Naomi's legs briefly in the shirt, and then hit their weird facebuster stompish finish. I don't even know what the fuck you call it. 1, 2, 3. So Bayley retains, as you would expect. I mean, they should have Naomi get a shot at Mania, but I mean, especially if Sasha's not going to be back. But I don't know where you go from here, because it was kind of clean. Yeah, sure, using the shirt and stuff like that, but it wasn't technically cheating because she was using the gear. It wasn't like she used a chair or an object behind the ref's back. I'm not saying Naomi doesn't deserve a shot at Bayley. I just think creatively they're going to have to find a better way to do this. So Goldberg and the Fiend's entrances took at least 3 minutes each, and that's just as well because this match didn't even last 3 minutes. I knew what was going to happen, and I'm still pissed off about it. The Fiend winning the championship, it should have happened at Hell in a Cell. Shouldn't have happened at the last Saudi show, which was Crown Jewel, I think. I think it was Crown Jewel. I don't know. All this shit blends together. Universal Championship match. Spear right out of nowhere. 1. Fiend kicks out at 1. He gets the claw on Goldberg, and Goldberg pathetically fights out of it. Look, Goldberg was never that good in the ring anyway, and he knew that, and he knew what he was in the company. You know, WCW knew what he was, and WWE the second time around booked him the way they should have. This wasn't nearly as bad as the match he had with Undertaker, because it wasn't about 2,000 degrees outside and in the stadium. But my God, what did this do for the Fiend? Don't give him the championship if you're not going to give him a run until Mania and have somebody beat him. Because right here, what are you going to do? You're going to have Reigns versus the Fiend? You're going to have, and not put Reigns in the championship picture? Or are you going to have Cena versus the Fiend and maybe justify, and rectify that loss that Bray stupidly had at WrestleMania 30? Now, 3 more spears, we get the claw again, and Goldberg hitting this jackhammer didn't look like it should hurt anybody. And Goldberg is a tougher man than I'll ever be. He's a tougher man than anybody who's going to be watching this video. But, my God, when you don't have it anymore, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. Yes, he's getting stupid amounts of money. So's The Undertaker. So's Brock. So's everybody on this goddamn show. Because they're paying stupid money towards Saudi Arabia is towards WWE to do this shit. But my fucking God. That horrible jackhammer for 3. The Fiend pops right up soon after as Goldberg celebrating. The lights go out and then the Fiend's gone. Okay, the Fiend may have never needed the championship. It is what it is. But what does this do for his character? He loses to a guy whose last match was like a squash against Ziggler, and who hasn't really been all that good in the ring since 99? 2000? 20 years ago? Over 20 years ago? Goldberg was an impactful guy that just needed to have short matches. But as bad as I thought this match was going to be, it sucked. It didn't do anything for Bray. Does that mean that the Fiend character is completely ruined? I'm not going to say it's completely ruined because I didn't think it had a long shelf life anyway. Oh, Goldberg is going to get changed by the Fiend. They're probably going to do Goldberg versus Reigns at some point. This match was just shit. I mean, what the fuck do you want me to say? What else can I fucking say about this? I mean, congratulations, WWE full-time roster. You got a 50-plus-year-old guy as champion, and I don't care that he's going to only have it for a few weeks and drop it to Reigns or Cena or whoever. It isn't going to benefit anybody. What benefit is it to give it to a part-time guy just to have somebody win it from him? Like, it didn't work when Brock beat Goldberg because they were both part-time guys. It didn't work for Owens. I mean, my God, Owens, it took him forever to get back to anything relevant after losing the Universal Championship. My fucking God. I mean, I get why they did it, but the Universal Championship is easily one of the worst booked championships that they've had. And part of that has been because of injuries and stuff like that and whatever, but a lot of it has just been bad creative. Or just people not being creative at all. This show was just shit. And I didn't expect much. And it was still disappointing to me. The 2 main championship matches were just bad. Ricochet didn't benefit. Sure, he can still have some flashy moves and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty obvious that they don't care about him. And then we got The Fiend, who's probably going to lose at Mania. And hopefully he doesn't. He can maybe get on the right track, but don't give him the championship again if you're not even going to give him a meaningful run. Yeah, he had it for 4 months. So he had the match with Daniel Bryan. Well, he had 2 matches with him. Or no, he had one. No, he had the matches with him. The Rumble match, strap match was fine. But the problem is the Fiend character is just a smokescreen. It's still Bray Wyatt, who is an average worker in the ring at best. But he's got great character work, and sometimes that's all you need. But Goldberg, yeah, Universal Champion. What a slap in the fucking face. F for the paper, F for the show. What the fuck do you think I was going to list it as? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.